Okay, so I'm just going to talk you through the first couple of questions on here, and you can do the other 8. Okay, so this is a really common exam question on both the listening and on the reading paper, which asks you to identify positive, negative, or positive and negative opinions. And it's really important on these questions you read absolutely every word very closely to make sure that you don't fall into a trap. Sometimes you think the answer looks obvious, and actually that's a trap. So we're going to read the texts. The important thing, as it says here, is I am relying on you having done the previous lesson's work, which is this link here. These are all the words that AQA always use in the GCSE to trick you or to convey the opinion. So that is the list that I'm talking about, positive, negative, or positive and negative. You should have written it in your book and thoroughly learnt these. If you need a bit of a revise, pause the video now and go back to this list and just revise it one more time. There's quite a few words there, really important. You will need to know them. Okay, so if you can open the Word document version of this, brilliant, then I want you to do that. If you've got a printer, you could print it. If not, and you can only see the PDF, not a problem, just write it out in your book, okay? But in the exam, of course, you'd have a highlighter with you, and what I would suggest you do is this. So the question is each person's opinion of living in the city, absolutely key, living in the city, positive, negative, or do they think something positive and something negative? Always read the question carefully, okay? So we're looking at what is their opinion on the city. Right, so the first one, literally just going to translate every word. So, jamás viviría en la ciudad. So I know from having done this Quizlet set that jamás is a negative word, never. So I translate it, I would never live in the city. Well, if you're saying you would never live in the city, then that's obviously going to be negative. So I would write N, okay, as my answer. If you don't have a Word document available, then in your book you would just write down N. And I'd like you to put that jamás is never, so you've got the reason why you picked that answer. Okay, the second one. I'm going to have to read this one a bit more closely. So we're starting off, a pesar de la variedad de tiendas y instalaciones geniales, estoy harto de vivir en la ciudad con todos los atascos. So really what we're going to do is look for which bits are positive and which bits might be negative in this. So a pesar de is a bit of a giveaway, okay? Because if it means in spite of, which you should know from having studied the set. If we know that this means in spite of, that already implies there's going to be one opinion and then another contradictory opinion. Okay, so let's check that theory. In spite of, now, variedad, just like the English, variety, okay? So the variety of shops, and I've got this lovely positive word here, genial, great. So in spite of the variety, or despite the variety of shops and great facilities, so that's positive, estoy harto de, now that's a negative phrase. I am fed up of living in the city with all of the atascos, okay, and atascos are traffic jams. So you can see really clearly there from writing, is this positive or is this negative, that this has got both positive and negative in it. Therefore, I can get rid of P and N, and I just end up with P and N as the answer, because there's something positive and something negative. Okay? I want you guys to carry on using this same method that I have here. If you can't physically highlight because you can't print or you can't use the Word document, write it out in your book. Just write down what are the key things here. Carry on for numbers 3 to number 10, okay? And write down in your book, is it P, N, or P and N, and what the reason is that you've picked that answer, okay? When you've done that, then you can submit your work for marking.